Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. So in this one my partner makes a punch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the knuckles on the front and the side and grab his fist. So from here I'm going to press down onto his base so I can feel his base. Now he's going to start by rolling his wrist and cut under the tension of me grabbing him. So roll the wrist, cut under. Okay, there we go. So now he's under on that level. Now he rolls his elbow, softens down, cuts under. That's it. And again, perfect. Now he rolls his shoulder under and pulling down from the scapula. There we go. And then from the scapula, this area here all triangulates down onto the tailbone hip area and roll down a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. There we go. When I'm giving him the feed, when I'm giving him this feed, I put my tension here for him to get under. I put my tension there for him to get under, and there. And now it's at the hip, I put my tension in my hip, so he drops his hip and gets under my hip. So I'm giving him a lower center of gravity. Now I drop into my thighs, he drops his hip and knee, a bit more, there we go. And now he's got me. And now you go a bit deeper down onto your lower leg, cut under my lower leg. Nice. So this alignment that he's training is simply to go under what he feels. So as he taps with his knuckles into my body to feel my base and rolls underneath, he's getting more connected mass inside his structure for punching or whatever movement you're training. In this particular case, we're doing the alignment for the punch, so we've got a triangle here, and we want this triangle to point straight down so he maximizes connected mass. If he's defending something on the outside line, he'd shear slightly there as he came through and punched. And if he's defending on the inside line, he'd shear off and attack that way. But for peak power, the triangle points down, he has a maximum amount of connected mass. You adjust the shearing line to the inside and outside according to the defensive need. Okay, so from here, I've given him tension at this point in my body, at this point, and worked all the way down to the ground, and he's rolled underneath that. So once we've got his mass connected, the earth stage, we move on to the water stage. We want to generate more flow in that connected mass. So I press down into his center of gravity, into the middle. Now he rolls and softens and then cuts underneath me. Roll, soften, cut underneath. And now it's about him getting more and more fluidity in how he drops his hips and rolls and transfers load from the muscle to the fascia. So here, the fluidity and elasticity in his body. And I'm keeping my center of gravity roughly up here at the moment, so that if he drops to there, he can get underneath me. Now, if let's say he locks his body, and I put this feed, it's not really going to work. But if he drops his body slightly, boom, now he's a bit more under me, drop a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. Now he's under. Now I can feed, and I feel that he's not giving me tension back, but he's actually dropping inside his body. So my listening skill, when I feed my partner, will know he's doing it correct or he's not doing it correct. So feeding the Jin to your partner is super important, that you're giving them energy that is reflecting correctly in their body. I don't want to give him any dead weight, and he doesn't want to give me any muscle tension. He wants to be transferring load from muscle to fascia, and I want to be giving him an elastic load into his body so that he can sink underneath and give a counterforce. So we go from connecting the mass and getting the fundamental positioning by sinking, then we go to the water stage of fluidity. We start to get the flow inside that. Now from the flow, we come back to increasing hydraulic pressure in the flow. This is known as sinking the qi. Qi can sink down or it can sink in. So what we do, he first sinks underneath me, goes into the flow, and then he pressurizes the sink. So the fluidic pressure, so if he's feeding me, I generate structure to connect under him, I generate flow to connect under him, and then I generate pressure under him. And this pressure, as I'm inflating, I'm sinking, and I'm pressurizing my body for power to come out. So from here, I pressurize. Got a small space, so we'll just use the space we have. So I sink, I put mental pressure into the feeling of the energy, and then I release the mental pressure. Wing Chun is a highly intentional art. It's an intentional fighting style. If this was Wing Chun, he would be doing more of the feed, so he'd be pressing into me and I'd be softening to create a non-intentional state. Where in this position, Wing Chun, I want to generate punching power and get my energy to shoot an arrow. The arrow is a load inside me and fire. It's a different training method to how you would train your power in non-intentional training to create explosive energy, where Wing Chun is loading your body, dropping power to create this electric pulse. So there's more vulnerability in intentional models than non-intentional models. So it's worth having an understanding of how to train in a state of non-intention, where you're simply neutralizing, absorbing forces and reflecting them, rather than generating forces from your own intent and your own energy. So those of you who have done the first transformation have worked with the muscle and tendon change of vital to convert the energy from the muscle contraction to the fascia stretch, and then slowing that down into a hydraulic pressure of the feeling of the astral chi, and then pressurizing that feeling and generating power to that pressurization. And we call this sinking the chi, where you sink inwards into the feeling of that internal pressure and banging the energy out of it. And as I said before, it can be done with an intentional mind state or a non-intentional, based on how the feeder gives me energy and how I can get the reaction that I'm looking for. Okay, thanks for your time. Hope this helps with the Wing Chun journey, and see you on the next video.